Hi, this is Kerry Artag with Wicked Stocks, bringing you the daily Apple report for Wednesday, December 27th, 2023. Let's jump into the charts. I'll start with the big picture. We've had a long-term buy signal since last May when we settled above the mid 160s, 164.23 to 165.64. We fell off that July high, retested that long-term support, came off of it nicely, and in the process about 2 months ago also settled above that newly formed descending channel top at 181.59. And if you put it all together, I do see the likelihood as we move into later 24, by the middle of 24 perhaps, this 234.05 long-term channel top. And that is the big picture. Now, of course, if we close the week above 198.23, that is the July previous all-time high, we pushed through it over the last couple of weeks, have not closed above it. I think even on a daily basis, certainly not on a weekly basis. But if so, that would begin to look like we're pulling away and continuing north into the 230s, 240s over the months ahead, which is the longer term objective anyway. But we've also been falling away from that retest of that July high recently. And in fact, a couple of days ago, closed just below this 194.59 channel bottom. But it's not so fast in terms of anticipating continued weakness because there's also a rising 1/3 speed line that is now at 193.64. So I still see this as a range that may well absorb selling for the week itself through next week, and we can continue higher. The bullish momentum from the October low, the rally, remains intact above 193.64, and merely closing today above 194.59 I think marks a good low for the week, and we should see a nice pop to the upside. In terms of whether we can anticipate a violation of that 198.23 July all-time high. In fact, I guess what I'm saying is this is still a buy pullbacks dynamic, buying 193.64 and holding out until we close below 193.64. But in terms of expecting momentum reversal, I mean, we've seen this market weak now for the last week and a half. In terms of that shifting back into the bullish column, that would come with a settlement above 196.78. So, we are buying pullbacks in the 193.64 to 194.59 region for the week itself into later January, because above which we can continue higher to new highs over the next week, 2 or 3. And that becomes clearly indicated with the settlement today above 196.78. So you're buying 193.64. It looks good with the settlement today above 194.68. And if you've done nothing up to that point, you're buying a settlement above 196.78 because that is buying on strength. Then expecting by the end of next week, the 202.49 formation where we can top out on a weekly basis. But I will also say that if we close the week Friday above 198.23, that is also a meaningful sign of strength as we move into January trade. Now for the downside, if we do close today below 193.64, that does set up a 2 to 3, possibly 3 to 5 week downside objective at the 181.59, a channel top on the weekly chart. So once again, closing below 193.64, I don't see a good reason to be long Apple as we move through January trade. 186.65 likely then, quite possibly by the end of next week, over the next week or two, and over the next 3 to 5 weeks or sooner, 181.59. Now, on a day trade basis, you should know, talking to day traders, if we break or open below 193.64, 191.48 is likely, and that's a solid intraday support level. We could actually bottom out there perhaps for the day itself, but once again, a clear settlement today below 193.64 does set up for continued weakness as we move through January. I would anticipate the lower 180s, where once again, by that point in time, we could bottom out through the first quarter and round back up again. But not unless this bearish scenario, I'm not expecting unless we close today below 193.64. And in fact, if we close above 194.59, good low for the week, we're then likely within just a day, 2 at the most, to test 196.78, which if settled above is our upward pivot point into later January. So, if you're wondering whether we're going to get that settlement above 198.23 over the next week or two, I think the answer to that is yes. If we close any day above this 196.78 formation, that pivots us aggressively into the 202 handle within probably 3 to 5 days. I think I've pretty much said it all. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com for our 5-day free trial. And we'll be back tomorrow with Thursday's Apple Report. You have a great day.